How about another round for Brewsday Tuesday? Here is DreZ and Huck.
Yeah, make sure to get them wet.
Once again, we're having to have our beers open for us on Brewsday Tuesday, Friday edition. On location, we're in Loudoun County, and we are at the Beer Bloggers Conference, the 9th annual Beer Bloggers Conference. And of course, my partner in crime
Ryan
over here
missed the last one.
is distracted by the beers popping. Got him.
We got him. It's all about leg and stuff, but it's okay.
So Huck, of course, is here, and I'm proud to be joined by Julia, who is the Craft Beer Program Director at the BA. That's the Brewers Association. Kind of a big deal, Julia.
Hi, listeners and fellow beer lovers, and you too.
Kind of a big deal. It is a big deal.
I feel like there's a million questions I could ask you because I know that you're higher up in the beer world. But first things first, we need to talk about these beers that we just popped. I think they're all Virginia local?
Yes. There's the Brewers Guild. Somebody's over there, and I just went over there and grabbed 3.
Yeah.
And I actually only know one of these breweries, and that would be Strange Ways. And I know they're good. I've been there a few times. They're out of Norfolk area.
Yes.
And that's the one they've chosen to give me to drink.
And you have the albino monkey, which I think we've done on the show.
That's like their house beer. That's
a good beer.
And what a great label.
Actually, they're in Richmond. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. It took me a second.
Needs the independent craft brewer seal on it, but great label.
Well, you know, Richmond, they might be a little behind. So this is Triple Crossing Falcon Smash. And it's a Huck Session 7%. I'm not sure. It's tasting like an IPA. I did take a sip. It doesn't really say. So I'm going to say it's IPA. And this is something DreZ and I talk about. This kind of label on a beer generally indicates to us that it's a good beer because they don't care about the label. They're just making good beer.
And I'm in the same boat over here because this, I mean, you got that, it's that silver can with the slap-on label. That usually means good things. And I'm thinking this one might be great, man. I mean,
look at that beer.
It's beautiful. From Cannon and DreZ Brewing Company, which I'm not familiar with.
Never heard of them.
Cannon and DreZ, and if you look at it, it's called Welch's IPA. It screams like, you know, grape jelly.
It does look
and it's murky, cloudy, and hazy, and we all need to be not scared of that look.
And as I poured it, I could smell the aroma.
Thing, right,
Many good. So, yeah, news from this week at the Brewers Association. We just announced through my blog on brewersassociation.org, so go and read it.
Go read it.
There you go.
That the first year showing, because we just added hazy or juicy pale ale, IPA, and double or imperial IPA, 3 new styles, to the Great American Beer Festival options this year. So first year showing, out of the gates, it has now usurped American IPA as the #1 entered category in the Great American Beer Festival.
There you go.
So it's coming out with a bang.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, just because I like to, it's still an IPA.
And it's a fair point, right? I mean, American IPA isn't the only IPA now.
Right.
India Pale Ale has many variants. You got Session, Brown, Black, White, Belgian,
Double.
Rye, Double. You've got so much, and now on top of that, you're juicy or hazy.
And I'm not
right.
gonna lie,
I like to be juicy.
Those are usually my favorites anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic category to add. And it also almost kind of touches on one of the panels that was earlier was talking about diversity in the craft beer world. I think that beers such as that, like the fruitier ones, tend to cater to more of like a female, like the ciders too. I mean, I could be wrong here.
That's what
not everybody
data told us. The
Hardy.
data showed us that earlier.
Yeah, the data showed us that women are, at least surveyed from Nielsen, are showing to be more interested in the juicier hazy over hoppier beers.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible testament that
that's not so. I mean, the hops. That's a very acquired taste. I mean, you gotta work your way up to that, in my opinion.
Right, and barley wines took me a couple years, and now that's all I like. No, not
that's
really.
not all you like.
But I love a good barley wine.
But juicy or hazy are hoppy, right?
Right.
So like that to me is a conundrum in itself. If women are responding, and men across the board were responding to it too, it was up in their choice for hoppy, up in their choice for fruity, and up in their choice for juicy or hazy. But juicy or hazy is more than just hoppy. It's a mouthfeel. What I'm getting from these style beers is a kind of a muted alcohol or ethanol level. It's sneaky. They'll sneak up on you.
Oh, definitely.
And the mouthfeel's got more girth, a little more velvety, a little more viscous, and that's pleasing to me. It's more satisfying to me when these style beers are done in a balanced way.
Well, sneak up on a mortal.
Oh, well, Huck, you ain't no mortal.
Doesn't bother me.
Huck, you're just a brand. You're not just mortal, you're a brand.
Somebody called me a cyborg on the internet the other day. They said, I think Huck's a cyborg. So I need some new parts if I am.
Oh, man.
Yeah, your bad hip.
Yeah, it's better today.
He hurt his toe this week, too.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Huck hurt
He doesn't
his toe.
remember how, but he hurt his toe.
I heard it sounded bad. Made people wince.
That's a problem.
All right, enough about Huck's toe. So, Julia, I know that you're really in the know when it comes to the beer world. So I'm wondering, with all the research and stuff that you guys do, what do you think is the most exciting thing happening in craft beer right now?
And the most exciting thing is still, well, there's two. It's hard to give a soundbite answer to that. It's still the sensory side of beer and where our brewers in the U.S. are taking the beverage, right? You've got brut beers, right? You've got still beers coming out in boxes like boxed wine.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this New England IPA thing. You've got the innovation of the beverage. To me, that's a huge one. And then what's still exciting is the business side. We're still seeing craft brewers have success, although there's headwinds and things are slowing. And we're still seeing that balance of not just a globalization of beer in the U.S., but a localization of beer. And we need that for balance so we stay, the #1 destination for beer. So those are my two answers.
I think those are great answers. Localization, I think, is key, man.
I think too. That's what I see the new model.
To me, craft beer, and I mean, really just in general, like, it's a social thing. It's it's bringing people together, and it's so much more fun to have just like a nice cold one and talk over a conversation, especially with good craft beer. That's what it's all about, in my opinion.
Right. When we had 4,000 breweries before Prohibition, there was a brewery on every corner, and everybody, that's where they gathered. And I see that as where we're going in the next 5 years, is more and more breweries. Some of the big boys are going to stick little breweries around. Trust me on this. They're doing it already. Star Hill's a leader in that in Virginia. And so it's like Sam said, and they're the ones that are going to be more bulletproof when the bad times come, because bad times always come.
And they got somebody backing them.
Right. Well, they're sitting there, they're getting all the money because they're self-distributing directly to the consumer.
But every state you can't self-distribute. So there's about 35 states where self-distribution is allowed, where breweries can
I'm wondering if Virginia's one of them.
Breweries can actually distribute to the retailer, and then they get 200 or 300 accounts. They can't handle that anymore, and they go to the professionals, a.k.a. the distributors. It's a beautiful thing, and that's an important attribute, but a lot of states don't have that. So I think it's key for that. And you've also got breweries that are diversifying. So, any smart business model, like we learned from Dogfish Head today, they're not just beer anymore. They even evolved their off-centered ales for off-centered people. Raison d'etre, reason for being, Sam Calgione shared with us. They changed it because they're so diversified. They have an inn/hotel. They have licensed brew pub, facilities. They have other things that they sell besides just beer, distilled spirits. So they are now all about community and the people that work for them. And it's all about diversifying so you can stay competitive.
And not only that, but one of the things that also Sam touched on that I think is fantastic about Dogfish Head is they got all that other stuff going on. But even when it comes to the beer, they're thinking way outside the box.
Oh, yeah,
they're not just brewing beer over there. The collaborations that they're doing.
The music.
The stuff that they're putting in their beers. Like he was talking about, he made a snail beer. And I'm not talking about the shell.
Escargosa.
But I will say that was an answer to the question during our live Facebook, like the biggest Facebook Live that Dogfish has ever done. He was asked, what beers did it make it? And I think that's good to remind people because some are just too out there. Yeah.
That garlic beer.
I want the garlic beer.
I kind of want to try that.
I want the garlic beer.
Yeah, he had a garlic beer that he still said he loves with his mother's shrimp scampi on Christmas Eve.
That was a great speech.
A lot of hops have
you had a
profile
great
for
speech.
garlic.
This is a great event, and if you're out there and you're writing about beer, you're talking about beer, you're working in beer, you should come to this.
We are live at the Beer Bloggers Conference in Loudon, Virginia. They came to the Commonwealth finally, so I got to hop in on the action. I know, Huck, you've been to all of them. I'm assuming you probably have too.
Me and Huck and Sean
are the three.
The three.
Yeah.
The three. Well,
no.
That aren't like putting it on. Reno.
No.
He doesn't count.
None of the people.
They're new.
That put it on.
Did he just lied to us on the air?
No, he just said he comes to all the things. He hasn't come to all of these.
He was not here in the beginning when we started at Boulder, or when Separate started it.
Yeah.
Reno tried to slip one by me.
No, he was here at the first two, and then he was gone for a couple, and then he was back. You can ask him, but
that's what it was, because I said, were you here from the beginning?
Yeah, and I was calling him Vegas because I couldn't remember his name. Reno, Vegas. Anyway.
Oh, that's easy to. Yeah.
So,
But this is the first conference that I've seen Huck have a little bromance sidekick going on.
Oh, here we go.
I was able to
this.
make it to this one.
Tell me about you two. How the heck did you guys get together as
at
buddies?
a beer festival.
Beer festivals, yeah. I kept bumping into this guy at every beer festival I would go to.
And he would
just
interview me on the radio.
And I would do an interview, and he'd just be like, dude, when are you going to have me in the studio? Come on, man. You need to put me on there. Let's do a show.
So we did.
And he kept hounding me on it. And then one night I was driving back from like an event late at night, just thinking about like, it was right around the New Year, yeah. I was like, I was just trying to think of like what's something cool or new I could do. I was like, man, Huck's been asking me. I was like, let's just do it.
So we did.
I was like, screw it. I'm not even going to ask the higher ups. I'm like, let's just do it. We can ask for, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
So after we've been doing it for like 4 weeks, the station manager's like, why are all these beer cans in the recycling bin?
But then they embraced it, and now like there's 3 other shows that copied us doing these beer segments.
Well, so for somebody that's listening to our show, this show tonight, the first time, how often do you guys broadcast and how do you find it?
Every Tuesday at 6-ish. And this is a Friday show, this is extra.
Yeah, this
and
is extra. Tuesday at
about
6.
Once a month, I'll put 4 weeks of shows up on a podcast.
But the best way is, I mean, yeah, that's if you want to catch up.
Right.
But listen in every week. Listen live, 6 p.m. on Tuesday.
There's an app, 105.3
The Bear app. It's free. You can stream it. So all those that aren't in our listening area, I know we're probably going to reach a lot of people with this show since we got all this great beer lovers here that are probably going to be interested in checking it out. But of course, yeah, man, we're doing it every week, man, and it's always a good time.
Always drinking beer.
And we love having guests.
Yeah.
So it's so good to have you on,
especially
Julia.
Smart, pretty beer women.
Oh, what? Now you're a charmer.
Oh, I am.
Now, the other thing that we do with this show is, of course, we each drink a beer and we untap them. You're on Untapped, Julia?
Yeah, I do not rate an Untapped. I'm one of those scanners, but I'm on Untapped.
But you're on it, okay.
I love Untapped.
So are you not going to rate that beer because you don't rate beers?
I can rate it right now.
All right, what do you think?
So back to Strange Ways, albino monkey from Virginia. This is definitely Belgian-centric yeast profile. A little bit of chalky, very, very, a little milk and magnesia, but I like that. A little bit of bubble gum. Really yeast-centric beer.
You listened to
You were
that last
taking
segment.
notes during the Devil's Backbone.
No, you're the
tasting
queen.
flavor.
You're the queen.
He taught me some things today. So one of the Master Cicerones presented today, and Max, and I very much respected his talk. I knew some of his shtick from my Cicerone studies, but in describing a beer, I loved his point of like, and I tweeted while he was talking, because craftbeer.com, and I'm the publisher for that, and that's the Brewers Association beer lover facing website. From my Cicerone studies, I was like, okay, I do not understand flavor. Tell me flavor, and then I'm going to make an infographic. And then we did, and then we got the Cicerone program to contribute to it, and Dr. Nicole Garneau, who's with the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, and she's a doctor of genetics. And it's a collective triangle that we built that shows you flavor. And flavor is not just basic taste of sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami, and emerging as fat, but it's also aromatic compounds, all those volatile compounds, which includes a lot that you get from yeast, esters, and phenols. But then you've got mouthfeel. There's your triangle. Basic taste, aromatic compounds, mouthfeel.
We're going places we've never been before.
She's like the female version of you, but actually not talking out
knows
her ass.
stuff, right?
She knows
She
what
knows
she's
stuff.
talking about. She could just go an hour. Makes my job so easy.
I don't have the Huck radio voice.
Makes my job so easy. Just let Julia run with it. She'll school everybody.
But and I just that was triggered by aroma, right?
So what's the number?
What would I rate it?
Yeah.
Out of what number?
5.
Up to 5.
Out of 5, I'd give it a 4.5.
4.5, not bad. The albino monkey.
Yeah.
Huck, what are you thinking over there? You haven't had that. You haven't had that brewery before. You haven't had that beer.
I'm flashing back that I've seen this, but I'm not going to look.
The can looks familiar, but I'm not too sure.
Falcon Smash from our friends at Triple Crossing. I've been there, so I probably did have it. This is a really, really. I mean, I can't use the words, Julie. I'm not there, but it's almost astringently, yeasty.
Well, hops have astringency,
right.
so do malt.
It's
so
like
if
the
something's
yeast.
heavily hopped, a lot of the New England IPAs have astringency from the hops.
I can feel the yeast actually turning my tongue into alcohol.
Wow.
So this is a 4.5. This is good beer.
Good beer.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a strong, really nice hazy beer.
Now over here, this beer I was very intrigued from the get-go. Cannon and Draw Brewing Companies. It's an IPA, Welch's IPA, mind you, 6.1%. Very fine print. It's like it's so small you printed it. It's almost like they don't want you to know. But I mean, if there's ever been a beer that's #unfiltered, man.
Yeah,
this is a big ass beer.
Yeah, we're
dude.
looking at it in,
But it's
in
so,
Radio Land.
It's so hearty. It's awesome. It's perfect for brunch.
I think that's the brewer just walked by. I don't know.
I tell you what, man, this is a fantastic beer. I can't give it a 5 though.
Oh,
it's up there
don't
though.
tell her.
It might be
out of
another 4.75. I think I've been getting the best beers of the bunch.
Yeah, you did get the best beer both times.
Well, I'll let you guys try it. We're gonna take a quick break. I think we got. I mean,
one more.
We got to do a bonus segment.
Yeah, one more
segment.
segment.
We're here.
We're going to bring in somebody from an actual brewery. Now
all right.
We've talked to the people that
experts.
Put this thing together and know all about beer. Now we're going to talk to somebody from a brewery.
All right. I think that's a great idea. Julia, thank you so much for hopping on with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back live from the Beer Bloggers Conference. We're brewing it up in Loudoun County, baby.
Woo!
We're having a good old time out here live on location, a special Friday edition of Brewsday Tuesday. We'll be right back with someone from a brewery after this. Stick around.